With better and faster hardware, the Xbox One X should have no problem running multi-platform games better than the PS4 Pro. But a great game can win over no matter what it's running on. Just days ago, we were reeling from the Digital Foundry analysis of Middle-earth's Shadow of War. This is one of the first of many victories proving that graphics really do matter, even sparking a mudslinging campaign over Tom's use of the word soupy when describing the Pro's textures next to the X. Not long after the analysis of Forza 7 versus GT Sport, and graphics are back on the forefront of whose console is better. GT Sport represents on the PS4 Pro at a checkerboarded 1800p, nearly half of the clarity and resolution as Forza 7 on the Xbox One X. Except this time, in haste, Digital Foundry used the PC version at ultra settings. Keep in mind, the presentation of Forza 7 on PC will be very indicative of how the game will look on the Xbox One X. But GT Sport is a testament of quality over quantity in visuals and detail. Cars have more nuance and lighting, the first thing that I was most impressed with, and it is soaring over the already beautiful shimmering visuals on Forza 7. Polyphony had 4 years to polish up GT Sport, and Turn 10 had 2 years for Forza 7. It's clear to me that Turn 10's goal was to improve and add content to Forza 6 while targeting 4K 60 on Microsoft's newest console. They succeeded, but seeing it next to GT Sport, those fine details like ambient occlusion are won over by the latter. And it's clear from the reactions of both Shadow of War and GT Sport videos that graphics do matter. For the entirety of 2017, Sony gathered massive momentum of exclusive top-rated games. The success of the PS4 was cemented with better games on a better-looking console. But by and large, gamers are spending their time and money on the year's biggest multiplats. And as the narrative shifts to graphics, because of the power of the Xbox One X, it's inescapable that the comparison is to be made that one exclusive looks better than the competition. Let's look at the scope and breadth of the two racers in question, because if graphics don't matter, maybe it comes down to which game is better. Let's ignore fun factor because if you're into racers, both have plenty of fun on the podium for both console owners. GT Sport has 160 cars and Forza 7 has 700, nearly 5 times more cars on the Xbox Racer. Also, the cars on Forza range from the 1940s to present day, spanning some 60 years of racing heritage. GT Sport's oldest car is from 2009. But more cars will be added as free DLC. GT Sport has 15 tracks compared to Forza 7's 30 tracks, and we could go on about the level of detail off track or the quality of the grandstand crowd, but this is all about the scope of the game. Even at checkerboarded 1800p, PS4 Pro presents a stunning racer that impresses against a native 4K Forza on a console that costs $100 less. But do graphics really matter over gameplay? Forza games, even the Horizon series, have routinely gathered a Metacritic in the high 80s or low 90s. GT Sport has settled in at a 75 next to Forza 7 at 86. Even with loyalty to the Gran Turismo series, the fun and visual prowess of GT Sport couldn't overcome the online-only approach to the game with long queue times and the short offering of cars and tracks. But if you spend an extra $400, GT Sport has made PSVR racing available on specific modes. GT Sport also has dirt rally racing, something that Forza Motorsports has never offered and to me personally would make Forza the whole package. And just last week, gamers were celebrating or mourning the graphics of Shadow of War, but this just goes to show that graphics play a large part in settling arguments over hardware, and GT Sport impressed with what they have to work with in the PS4 Pro. But the big picture of GT Sport is limited at the expense of details, right down to the little spout on the windshield washer nozzles and better looking taillights. I suppose that we could make excuses that details like better roadside features matter little to a high-speed racer, but with two racers of this high quality, we gravitate to the fine details. I can't say enough about how great GT Sport looks, even at a glance, with its eye-popping sheen and its lighting imagery. But Forza 7 holds on with better visuals technically, in clarity, and most importantly, with 3 to 5 times the content across the breadth of the two racers. And with the incredible single-player career mode, online racing, and progression through just about every car you could dream to climb into, Forza 7 is still the best racer of the year, no matter what. The critics, industry, and gamers have spoken, and if you're still hanging on to those graphics that brought down the Xbox Racer, I hope you're ready for the next 6 massive AAA games about to be compared before Christmas break. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope that if you're a racing fan, you're finding your fun in either one of these games or even both. And if you're not too serious, Need for Speed and The Crew 2 has you covered. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more. If you want to follow me, add me on Twitter and Xbox Live at Colt Eastwood. I'll see you guys next week. Thanks again. Have a good one.